going on, guys? How are you doing? This is Shocks and this is ShocksCapital FX YouTube channel. Welcome back to the channel. Today we want to talk about this pattern that you can use to enter all your order block trades or all your order block setups, right? So what we are going to do is very simple. We're just going to be looking at the setup on the H4, and you're going to be looking for this particular pattern on the on the M15 or the M5, depending on what works best for you. So I'm going to show you a setup on the H4 and explain the setup in detail, then come and explain this pattern in detail and how you can go and identify it inside the order block so that you can use it in your trading. Guys, bear with me as I go and explain everything that you need to know in this particular pattern that you should be using in your trading. Let's go. Right, from what you are seeing here, this is the V75 chart, right? So in simple terms, or what we are doing here is very simple, right? We are just looking at these moves, the explosive moves that you are seeing in this one, in this chart, right? So these are the explosive moves, and you are looking at what break of structure, order block, and a liquidity page, right? So as you can see, this was liquidity taken in this area. This was all money resting on this trend line and pins, and price spiked through all that and retested your order block that is in yellow, as you can see from this one, from this setup. So this is the setup on the H4. What are you looking for? You are looking for an explosive move that breaks structure, and you are looking for a very steady retracement that takes what liquidity and a retest of the order block. So if you are following, you can clearly see that all I'm talking about is here. You have what this explosive move taking out this liquidity and a break of structure, then this move that takes out the liquidity and retest this particular order block on the on the H4. So this is the part, or this is the setup part, where you're going to be looking on the H4 and identifying the setup as I did here on the on the volatility 75 chart. If you don't know what this index is, you can go and check out Deriv, and the links are in the description down below. Check out Deriv, make your demo account and upgrade to real when you have understood everything. So these are some of the strategies that work very well on Deriv. If you are not trading V75 now, you have to hear it from me, right? So let's go and look at the entry pattern. Remember, the topic or the goal of this video today is to understand how to effectively milk the setup on the on the entry time frame, or how to effectively enter your trades using this particular entry. This setup is called the breaker setup. So from what you are seeing here, we have a move that goes up, then a move that goes down, a move that goes up again, and a break. So if you are someone who knows more about market structure, who knows more about break of structure, you can clearly see that this is a breaker setup or a mitigation block setup, right? So we're going to be sticking to a breaker setup and try to understand and try to decipher, take advantage of this very simple setup that prints on the chart on a daily basis on your chart. So what you are seeing here is a double top or a stop hand. So this can be a stop hand where price just goes briefly above this high, comes back, breaks a low, and and an order block that would be in this area. So this break would be the first signal for you to consider this as a potential setup. Then you wait for a steady retracement to your breaker, right? When price retests, or when price gets to this zone, you can clearly and safely put your stop loss above here and trade this. So the number one thing that you have to do is to identify the order block on the higher time frame. And as soon as price gets into the order block, as you can see in this area, your focus is turning to identifying this breaker setup on the M15, as you can see in this area, where you can see price going up and price retesting that and going down, as you can see in this particular example, right? So this is what you are doing, and this is how you plan on moving forward with this setup. Let's go and look at this setup on on the chart. Remember, we did mark out this as a what? As our order block, and price did retest this as price was moving, right? So let's go to the M15 and try to see how we could have taken advantage of this setup and how we could have entered this particular setup with precision, right? So let's just go here. What are we seeing? Number one, we are seeing that price entered into this one, into this order block, as you can clearly see, and briefly went above that one, that high. This is the stop band that we are talking about. Then number two, what are you seeing? You are seeing a break of what? A break of this order block, or a break of that particular movement as a breaker. So this one becomes a breaker and price breaks like that. And what are you waiting for? You are waiting for a retest of that particular breaker. This is not a retest. That is what? A liquidity grab. So this is liquidity building up just below the breaker, and this is the retest that you're looking for. So after that retest, what do? You enter as price hits the what? As price hits the breaker, and your stop loss is going above here, above this setup, and this is what? This becomes your entry, and this becomes your entry, and you are going to be targeting what? As always, you're going to be target the opposite lows or highs, depending on where you are going, depending on what you are trading. So this is the setup that you are going to be seeing and trading. So as always, I'm going to show you more setups on this particular one and see and have proof that this one, you can clearly see it on any chart, on any day, on any time frame. So let's just go and look at V51S and try to see if we can have this setup on that particular pair. We are here on what? On the V51S offered by Deriv as always. So what we're going to do here is very simple. Number one, we understand and we identify the setup on the H4. So from what you are seeing here, here is the what? The order block on the H4 that took out structure, and this is the move that retested that order block by taking out inside liquidity, as you can clearly see here, as price was moving up. So this is the setup. What are we waiting for? We are waiting for the very important aspect of this strategy, which is the breaker, right? So what are we doing here? We have what? We have this high here, as you can clearly see. We have this high, and we have price briefly going above this particular high and expanding what? Expanding lower, as you can see. So what are we doing? We are looking at this one, at this order block here, and waiting for the break of that particular order block. As soon as it breaks, we have our trade at this particular zone. And what are we going to do? We are going to be putting our stop loss above here, and our entry is right at the base of this one, of this breaker. And we are going to be using this particular one to what? Target and trades, right? So we're going to be targeting this low as our what? As our take profit. As you can clearly see, it went above and beyond that. So this is a very beautiful setup that you can use in your trading, and that you can use with the order blocks from the H4. And what you just have to do is to be patient, wait for your setups, don't rush things, be patient and trade what you see. Shocks out.
Introducing Deriv, one-stop shop to trade forex, stocks and indices, cryptocurrencies, commodities, and derived indices that include but not limited to Volatility 75, V100, boom and crash indices, and many more. And to top it off, you can trade 24/7. Weekends are for trading. Deriv is one of the biggest online brokers in the world that offers the following: synthetics, CFDs, multipliers, options. To millions of consumers who have registered all across the world, we provide CFDs and other derivatives on currency, stocks and indices, cryptocurrencies, commodities, and derived. Simple, flexible, reliable. Pick from 8 effective platforms that were each created with your needs in mind. To benefit and be part of this, go to ShocksCapital.com and click Start Trading, or click the links in the description and pinned comments.